Liebe Studentinnen und Studenten, also ich heiße Sie alle noch einmal herzlich willkommen zu unserem Programm. Heute beschäftigen wir uns mit Zeitformen. Das ist ein sehr, sehr wichtiger Kapitel in der deutschen Sprache. That's a very important chapter in the German language, without which you will not be able to speak and write good German. Also wenn Sie richtiges Deutsch sprechen und schreiben möchten, dann müssen Sie alle Zeitformen richtig und gut lernen und Sie müssen auch wissen, wie und wo Sie diese Zeitformen in Sätzen verwenden können. How you should be able to apply these things in the sentences. So that's what we are going to do today. Zeitformen. Zeit, the word Zeit, you know, time. Zeitformen, the different forms of the time or tense. And German, they usually say temporal or the tempora. So whenever you hear the word tempora, immediately you should understand, that is, irgendwie mit Zeit verbunden. It is somehow or other connected with time. So, today now you are going to go a little into detail about the Zeitformen, these verbs in Deutsch. Not only in German language, in every language which exists today in the world, mainly these three forms are there. We try to express what is happening now, that is Präsens, oder auf Deutsch heißt es Gegenwart, what happened sometime back, that is Präteritum, oder Vergangenheit, oder what might happen in future, that is Zukunft. Also Präsens, Präteritum, Unperfekt und Futur. Gegenwart, Vergangenheit und Zukunft. That is inevitable if you want to deal with a language. Let's begin with Gegenwart, the presence, die Gegenwart. Presence itself is being used in different ways. Der ganz verschiedene Bedeutungen. Das müssen Sie alles klipp und klar verstehen. Nummer 1. Aktuelles Präsens is known as aktuelles Präsens. That's what is happening now. Beispiel: Die Kinder spielen. The children are playing. Remember, in German, the sentence die Kinder spielen, that means the children are playing. In English, this is known as present continuous. But in German, there is no present continuous. So never come forward with a sentence like Die Kinder sind spielen. So ein Satz existiert nicht auf Deutsch. Das müssen Sie genau merken. Also, wir kommen zurück zu unserem Satz. Die Kinder spielen, the children are playing. It's happening now. Or die Blumen blühen. The flowers are blooming. Don't you think there is a difference between these two sentences? Die Kinder spielen and die Blumen blühen. The Kinderspielen, when I say the children are playing, I see it now. I see it with my eyes. When I say the Blumen blühen, the flowers are blooming, are they blooming in front of me right now? No. There's a little difference. We are coming to that in our coming sentences. Then there is something called the futurisches Presence. A present tense which implies the future. Beispiel: wir treffen uns am 3. September. We'll meet on 3rd September. We have one more week. The structure of the sentence is very, very presence. But it is nothing but it has the effect of the Futur eins which I have learned some time back. So such present tenses are known as futurisches Presence. Then there is something called historisches Presence. Though something happened many years back, some people try to express it with the help of a present tense sentence. Why? What is the function? They try to express what happened in the past, maybe for many years, and make a sentence in the present tense so that the effect, the Wirkung will not be lost. Look at the Beispielsatz. 1939 trifft Mahatma Gandhi in London mit ANGABEN zusammen. Actually, this happened in 1939, many years back. But even in today's newspapers or in biographies, you might come across such things. That doesn't mean that these things is happening now. Mahatma Gandhi, actually what is the meaning of the sentence? Gandhi met Annie Besant in 1939. But now that we are expressing it as if it is happening today, so that the complete effect, this is known as what is known as a Wirkung der Gegenwart. So the Wirkung der Vergangenheit in der Gegenwart zu bringen. So that is historisches Presence. Then there is something called Generalist Presence. It's a very interesting thing. That's a combination of Gegenwart, Vergangenheit and the future. This verb, this expression has got 3 feet. 1 foot in the past, 1 foot in the present and 1 foot in the future. Beispiel: Die Erde bewegt sich die Sonne. The earth goes round, revolves round the sun. Structure is very much a present tense sentence. Does it mean that now the earth is going around the sun? Yes, it's going around. Earth is going around the sun. And when did it start? We don't even know. Millions and millions of years back. And how long it will keep on? Maybe for millions and millions and millions of years. So you see, this is known as historisches Presence. Something which happened many millions of years back, and one thing which is going on now, and something which will go on for many years in the future also. Scientific truths are always or almost expressed in such terms. with Generalist Presence. And some Sprichwörter, proverbs, you express with the Generalist Presence. Beispiel: Es ist nicht alles Gold, was glänzt. Everything was shines is not gold. Es ist presence, but it is just not presence. I hope you understand that. Or ein weiteres Beispiel: Mein Sohn geht in die Schule. My son goes to school. You are visiting your friend's house in the evening, and his son is sitting somewhere there, and you are asking, "Oh, what's your son doing?" You are getting the Schule. He goes to school. Does it mean that he is going to school at that time, at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the evening? No. It's a practice. He has started going to school some weeks or months back. He is going now, and maybe till his schooling is over, he will keep on visiting the school. So you see, the Generalist Presence has a meaning of the future, present tense, and in the past. Modalverben können nur mit aktuellem Präsens und futurischem Präsens gebraucht werden. We will explain that. When you say the Kinder spielen, you can express it with the help of a modal verb also. Die Kinder können spielen, die Kinder dürfen spielen, die Kinder möchten spielen, die Kinder wollen spielen, and so on and so forth. So if you have a verb with in any form, you can combine that modal verb also with that. Die Kinder wollten spielen. The children wanted to play. That is also possible. We will come to the details in the coming sentences. Similarly, wir können uns am 3. September treffen. We can meet, oder wir wollen uns am 3. September treffen. Wir müssen uns am 3. September treffen. All these sentences are also possible. Das Präteritum und das Perfekt bezeichnet etwas Vergangenes. Till now we are talking about presence, the Gegenwart. Now, what does Präteritum and what does perfect mean to us? When you say die Nacht war windstill, the night was without any wind, or ich habe meine Verwandte besucht, I have visited my relatives. Many people ask, what exactly is the difference between Präteritum and perfect? To be frank, there is not much difference between Präteritum and perfect. Both the tenses relate to some happening, some event, some incident in the past. Then why there should be two sentences? I wouldn't know. Yeah, I wouldn't know. But one thing I can tell you, Präteritum is mainly used in the geschriebene Sprache. And the perfect tense is used in the geschriebene Sprache and also in the gesprochenen Sprache. For example, you must have heard the question, haben Sie gegessen? Perfekt. Haben Sie gegessen? Kein Mensch fragt, aßen Sie? Essen, as, Präteritum. Have you ever heard this question? Aßen Sie? Lernten Sie Deutsch? No. Usually when it is in the spoken language, Sie greifen na, perfect. They resort to the perfect tense. Haben Sie schon gegessen? Haben Sie schon die Aufgabe gemacht? Haben Sie schon Deutsch gelernt? Haben Sie den Vokabular geübt? Und so weiter und so weiter. We'll come to that now. Now, Futur 1 und Futur 2 bezeichnen ein zukünftiges Geschehen. That we have already discussed in many of our videos, but I'm just repeating it once again, since we are discussing the present and Vergangenheit. Wird in Deutschland arbeiten. He will work in Germany. Futur 1, werden plus Infinitiv. Oder bis morgen habe ich die Arbeit gemacht. Structure is that of a perfect. Till tomorrow I would have finished my work. But since that Zeitangabe morgen is there, we are not making just a perfect sentence. A perfect sentence always shows something which have happened in the past. This sentence has a clear meaning of the future. So bis morgen habe ich die Arbeit gemacht. Now I'm coming to Modal Verbs. Ein Modalverb kann auch mit diesen Zeitformen stehen. Will in Deutschland arbeiten. Möchte in Deutschland arbeiten. Bis morgen möchte ich oder will ich die Arbeit gemacht haben. Now in the first sentence, we have the modal verb wollen. Will. In the second sentence, we have the modal verb möchten. Now, what is the difference between möchten and wollen? What is the difference between the two sentences? Ich will, will in Deutschland arbeiten, oder möchte in Deutschland arbeiten. When you use möchten, it just shows a wish of yours. Ein Wunsch. That's your desire. Okay, I want to work in Germany. That's your desire. But if you have started making preparations to realize this dream of yours, you started collecting books and started learning German and all that, then you had to say the modal verb wollen. Will in Deutschland arbeiten. That is eine Absicht. It's an aim. There's ein Plan. It's a plan. So möchten, ein Wunsch, wollen, ein Plan. Das ist der Unterschied zwischen möchten und wollen. And now something is very important. Das Perfekt kann noch Beziehungen zur Gegenwart haben. Just now we said a perfect sentence always deals with something which happened in the past, not necessary. Look at the sentence. Peter ist vor einem Jahr nach Berlin gefahren. Studiert Medizin. Oder ich spreche Deutsch. Ich habe es in Diesels gelernt. Look at the first sentence. Peter ist vor einem Jahr nach Berlin gefahren. Something which happened in the past. But taking some incident which happened in the past, you are pushing it to the present tense, clubbing it with a sentence in present tense. Hence, the complete sentence will get a sense of the presence. 1 year back, Peter went to Berlin and now he's studying medicine. The complete sentence, the full sentence, has a tone of the present tense. Ich spreche gut Deutsch. Ich habe es in Diesels gelernt. Sometime back I learned German and now I speak it well. Again, ich habe Deutsch gelernt. It gets a covering or coating of the present tense. I hope you understand what I mean. And the Präteritum verwendet man meistens in der geschriebenen Sprache und das Perfekt in der geschriebenen Sprache und in der gesprochenen Sprache. Darüber haben wir schon diskutiert und ausführlich gesprochen. And now slowly we are coming to the perfect of the modal verbs and the verbs helfen, hören, sehen, lassen. Wir haben hier 5 Sätze. Gestern ging ich ins Theater. Präteritum. Gestern bin ich ins Theater gegangen. Perfect. Now to this perfect sentence, we are clubbing a modal verb. Gestern habe ich ins Theater gehen wollen. There is no participle perfect here. What does that mean? If you are making a perfect sentence of a modal verb, then you do it with the help of haben and 2 infinitives. The question of participle perfect doesn't arise at all. Wir sprechen gar nicht über Partizip 2. Wir brauchen haben als ein Hilfsverb. We need haben as an auxiliary verb or a helping verb, and 2 infinitives at the end of the sentence. The infinitive of the modal verb am Ende. So the formula would be haben, second position, 2 verbs at the end, modal verb am Ende. That's a formula for making perfect of modal verbs. Weitere Beispiele. Am Sonntag habe ich arbeiten müssen. Am Sonntag habe ich arbeiten müssen. Wir haben die Arbeit machen können. We have been able to finish the work. So, I am giving you the rule once again here. Modal Verben bilden das Perfekt mit haben and 2 infinitives, and the modal verb steht am Ende, that means nach dem Hauptverb. Similarly, in a similar fashion, the verbs helfen, hören, sehen und lassen bilden auch das Perfekt ähnlicherweise. just like modal verbs. So whenever you want to make the perfect of verbs with helfen, hören, sehen and lassen, you have to be careful. Hat seiner Mutter den Koffer tragen helfen. He has helped his mother to carry the suitcase. But if that verb tragen were not here, that means if the helfen stands alone by itself in the sentence, then the sentence would have been hat seiner Mutter geholfen with participle zwei. But if helfen has one more verb in that sentence, to help to carry, then helfen is being, the perfect of helfen is made like the perfect of modal verbs. Hat seiner Mutter den Koffer tragen helfen. Die Mutter hat das Kind rufen hören. The mother heard the child calling her. Without rufen, die Mutter hat das Kind gehört. Ich habe ihn Garten arbeiten sehen. I have seen him working in the garden. Two verbs. Without saying, hat im Garten gearbeitet. Ich habe das gesehen. Ich habe mir einen Anzug machen lassen. I have, you know the verb lassen. If you are not doing something yourself, and if you are entrusting the job to somebody else, then you use lassen. Ich habe einen Anzug selber nicht gemacht, aber ich habe den Anzug von einem Schneider machen lassen. As we explained earlier, wenn die Modalverben wollen und können and wenn die Verben helfen, hören und sehen und lassen allein in einem Satz stehen, bilden sie das Perfekt mit haben und Partizip zwei. It's no question of two infinitives. Beispielsätze: Ich habe das Kind, ich habe das nicht gewollt. I didn't want it. Ich wollte das nicht. Ich habe das nicht gewollt. Wir haben nicht gehört. Hat Deutsch nicht gekonnt. Sie hat die Bücher in die Schule gelassen. So in allen diesen Sätzen haben wir Partizip zwei. Aber mit einem anderen Verb verbunden, bilden solche Modalverben und die Verben helfen, hören, sehen und lassen mit haben und zwei Infinitive am Ende. So whenever you come across such sentences, whenever you come across such usages, be careful and write your participe zwei only after making sure that it is the only verb in the sentence. One thing more you have to understand when we talk about modal verbs. Die Modalverben müssen, sollen und dürfen stehen nicht in einem Satz. They cannot exist by themselves in a Satz. Ich muss arbeiten. Soll zum Arzt gehen. Sie dürfen nach Hause gehen. In all these sentences, you cannot just say, ich muss. Was? Nicht möglich. Soll. Was? Nicht möglich. Sie dürfen. Nicht möglich. That is also another characteristic of a modal verb. So these modal verbs, they always need another verb to make its existence. And this was a little difficult chapter in our language program. So I would request you to go through this video clipping several times so that all the things which I have tried to explain, it has gone into your head. So thank you very much and wish you all the best with the perfect of modal verbs. Wir sehen, liebe Leute, bis zum nächsten Mal.